Welcome to Meet the Vendors, a video series highlighting the best of the Calgary wedding industry. Today I'm joined with Trena.
Hi!
Award-winning makeup artists and proud members of Calgary Bridal Alliance and the Better Business Bureau, Trena Laine Makeup Artist supports both the fashion and wedding industry. They continue to serve local and well-known professional wedding planners and photographers. They are a Runway Lead Makeup Artist for both the Wedding Fair and Bridal Expo. Trena Laine Makeup Artist serves over 100+ weddings each season and are known and have been awarded a few times as the best wedding makeup artist company. Will you do a trial run of makeup before the wedding day?
Absolutely. We think it's totally a must. It's not mandatory, but we always feel even like 2 to 3 weeks out before the wedding date, it's great to come in. By then, obviously, the dress, decor, the final touches are coming together. Are you tanning? Spray tanning? As well as, have you determined if you want to do a lip color? What's your hair color? Are we adding highlights? Are you going back to being dark? Everything's going to be a major factor. So I always say a little bit closer to, it's fantastic to find your wedding day look.
Do you specialize in a certain look or technique?
Well, yes, I would like to say that we're kind of known as like the beauty enhancement makeup artists, but at the end of the day, it's always about personal style. So we kind of like to interview our clients because there's certain things that aren't going to work for clients. Depending like how much fine lines, how tired they look, redness in the eyes. We shy away from shimmer. I like that we're both wearing shimmer today. You know, time and place, right? And so those are just like, that's just the beginning part, right? Just to kind of like who they are and how their look should actually represent them. So this way, we specialize again in enhancement makeup because we're all about let's see you, not your makeup.
What is your training and background experience?
I took one makeup class, but I also took a bunch of different aesthetic classes. I really wanted to understand the skin. Plus, at the same time, I was really interested and actually just wanted to get into the beauty industry and start retailing. So I realized, well, I probably need to understand service to better retail, and I kind of married the two. And in a roundabout way, next thing you know, I was actually just really enjoying doing makeup. And it turned into, wait, I don't want to run a spa anymore. Let's just focus on a makeup company. And here we are, and I've been pretty much self-taught. Other than I've taken many different workshops, seminars, I've traveled miles to understand business, so mindset. I constantly am always like, I'm just interested in absorbing so I could be a better, smart businesswoman or boss babe, whichever you want to say. And so I feel like I've invested more in that versus my training because it's really on the job. We realize when you get feedback from clients, those you work with, that's how your skills just keep getting better and better and better.
If the bride changes her mind about her beauty look, is there a charge for a retrial?
Well, kind of depends. Hopefully there's no retrial, but it doesn't mean it hasn't happened before. We've had done complimentary retrials coming in, pending our schedules and stuff, but most of the time we're all about as soon as our client comes in, we really interview, we have a conversation, and hopefully they already know our portfolio, so they already know our style and kind of who we are. But if it ever happens to be that we need to like do some minor changes, a little bit of editing morning of, most of the time the brides are like, great, and they give feedback where maybe this was a little dusty underneath, can we like not have that? Or maybe I felt it was too light, I actually want to go darker. And yes, let's trickle up the lashes, right? So those tiny things we can totally do. But if there ever is in that situation that they need to kind of come back in more, I mean, we always want to work with our clients, right? Make them happy. When they're happy, we're happy.
So obviously we are here in your studio. Where is the makeup done on the day of the wedding day?
Wherever they need us to be. So weddings, we are on location. I've done the odd photo shoot too that's been on location, and everything else kind of happens here. So the trials, engagement sessions, anybody who needs hair and makeup for certain things, we see everybody here. But most of the time we're in people's homes and hotels. I think it's time maybe I invest in some hotels.
Yeah, no kidding.
You live there all the time.
Can a bride bring photos of any makeup inspiration that she has?
Absolutely. We think that's fun. Because we always like to kind of get an idea, because the time when people arrive, they're like, they're naked, right? So it's great that you have inspiration, whether it's from Pinterest, Instagram. However, we find that this is where we really need to educate at times too, because the odd bride or even a client will just come in for a certain look, but maybe that's not the correct eye shape. Love cat eyeliner at times, but cat eyeliner again too is more of a trend versus personal style. Do you wear that stuff all the time? And you're just kind of interviewing to kind of get to know them. Do you really want that much black eyeliner if you're not used to wearing that? Or maybe does that look too dull for you if you're used to wearing makeup? But I'm always at the same time like, now that we have your phone here, why don't you show me pictures of you too, right? Because then I can kind of see like, well, how do you dress yourself up for the night out of town?
That's a great idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of get to kind of know them a little bit more. And again, I can't stress enough because I feel like our job is to educate. So even though someone might show us something, we're like, oh my God, I love it. But then as we're kind of, yes, we're analyzing you, at the same time, we're kind of like, well, we're going to have to probably do some modifications and here's the reason why. And at the same time, they're learning about themselves. And then they're kind of like, oh my God, I had no idea. And so they're getting some takeaways back too at the same time, right? Whereas sometimes even with lashes, dropping in a band of fake lashes, you sometimes don't want them sitting like so high up. You should be about filling in the gaps. So again, like Pinterest, Instagram, there's tons of great stuff, but at the same time, is it your face and eye shape? How can we marry the two? So then again, you're happy, I'm happy. It's no different than to a hairstylist. I've noticed with hairstylists where the bride may have like hair like yours and mine, but the inspiration they come with is like long flowing curls, and you're like, okay, so
you want a wig?
So are we changing you completely? Like what is going on,
yeah.
Right? So, but again, it's just kind of getting to know your client, and we probably sit and gab for about 15 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, this is what I feel we should do, and then I proceed with the application moving forward, and we go from there.
Perfect. What kind of prep does the bride need to do before the trial or the wedding day?
Well, we do have a little bit of a list. Once we've had the opportunity to finally meet our bride, because most of them put down a deposit a year in advance. If we've had time to snoop and find out who they are via Instagram or Facebook, we get an idea. But even then, most of the time our clients are usually pretty like very open in advance to say that maybe they have a skin condition or something has happened and blah, blah, blah. So when they come here, obviously we're gonna have that conversation about certain things moving forward. We have like a standard just for basic taking care. Little things you can do like egg white masks, my favorite. Just hydrate, refresh the skin. Like if you have the opportunity to do a couple of those leading up to the wedding day, do it, right? Don't do anything drastic. We need to go for an aggressive facial. Skip all that stuff. Yeah. Because sometimes with stress, your adrenaline's pumping a little bit more, and next thing you know, oh, we're having more breakouts, and then you're making our jobs harder. Just kidding. But no, really, at the end of the day, we kind of have a list for this. But if there's certain things, whether it's sunburns, we get that all the time. There's things for cold sores, acne. We actually have kind of some separate stuff that we always suggest, because we're not doctors at the end of the day, but we're here to make you feel better. And then our jobs are a little bit better too at the same time. So it's a win-win.
What happens if you're ill or otherwise unable to make it to the wedding day?
Well, I think we rely on the big guy above, right? And knock on wood, in the last decade, I've always made a wedding date, even with the flood. Mm-hmm. You and I worked a wedding following the flood.
Yeah,
we still showed up.
Yeah, of course.
Surprised everything was still going on, but we were there.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's not just me now. I have a company, so I have my girls, and we've always managed to make things work, even if the bride has a change in schedules and we have other weddings to see, which we do. We just don't handle one wedding. Or there's been times where I went to Canmore and the highway is backed up and we're rerouting so we can get out there. But everybody's usually just been really great with tiny stuff. But worst case scenario, I think if there was no way I could ever get to someone's wedding, there's so many wonderful people in this industry. I think that's what makes our industry so great, is that anybody would step in. Even during the flood, how many floors were wiped out and people were stepping in and getting free flowers. That's just a small example. But no matter what, I'm always there. Even today, the neck being out, doesn't matter. You still show up and you represent.
Perfect. How much time do you need per person on a day of a wedding?
Well, that's a great question. We get that asked a lot. And I find it probably surprises some people when I'm we average 15 to 25 minutes a face, depending the face. Mature faces sometimes can be a little bit more simple, so maybe a little bit lesser time. Flower girls, 15 minutes. If there's two of us on the job, then we're seeing like 2 faces, so we can see anywhere from like 3 to 4 faces within that first hour. So we're pretty efficient. I don't want to say we're fast and sloppy, but we literally have our makeup applications down to a science. Like this has to be happening by a certain time, eye building needs to be done by this time, okay, clean up, where we at, face, everything's very structured, so we kind of have everything very in a tight timeline just in our applications below. So we run a tight ship. We're very professional, we like to keep the train moving, so that's what we're there for. Yep.
What is the booking procedure and how far in advance should a bride book her makeup artist?
I used to think we were kind of last on the list, and then there was a turning point that all of a sudden we weren't. So I feel like makeup, the beauty side, is kind of up there now alongside got the dress, got the venue, the DJ, who's my makeup artist? Like we kind of seem to be up in that category now. And some people actually inquire 2 years ahead. I think that's a little too much.
Oh.
I prefer like just over a year is quite comfortable for my company. So once you kind of know everything feels great, at least get that deposit in, secure the date and time, and then within over the next few months, then you can kind of start really narrowing down the fine details. So get your deposit in once you know if you want to book for hair and makeup. Do it.
That's it for today's video. Thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you. Well, I guess, and thanks for coming here. It was a pleasure to have you.
It's beautiful here.
Thank you.